Okay, how's everybody doing today? Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the systems of your vehicle. The first system that we're going to talk about is the lubrication system for your engine. The lubrication system of your engine supplies the cylinder and the camshaft, crankshaft, and crankcase with oil. By supplying the oil pump supplies the oil which comes from your oil pan, which as long as you maintain your engine properly, your vehicle will run smooth. Now, the oil in your engine supplies lubrication for the moving parts, including the piston, camshaft, and so forth. Now, just make sure you frequently change your oil due to use your owner's manual for the maintenance of your vehicle. Now, our second system that we're going to be discussing is the cooling system. In the cooling system, a mix of water and coolant flows through passages in the engine block as well around as well as around the cylinder to prevent damage to the block, because if the heat from the combustion does not get released or cool enough, then it can cause damage to the block, which the block can warp and cause it to overheat, which can cause your piston rings to fail. And then if those fail, then well, you're going to blow a piston, and then it'll shoot right through the block and your engine will be dead. So we don't want to do that. So by using the coolant mixture and airflow will enable the block and other parts to stay at the right temperature. What I mean by right temperature is you have an operating temperature that the engine block needs to be at. So when your block warms up, just like any other metal, it will fluctuate. So it will change and move. So it will allow, kind of like ice. How ice expands when it gets, or water, it will expand and it'll freeze and it'll get bigger. And then when it starts to melt, it decreases in size. So your block does the same exact thing. It expands when it gets cold, and then when it gets hot, it expands, and then when it gets cold, it shrinks. So kind of a little bit backwards. However, same difference. Now, so where we're at. So by using the cooling mixture flow, you have now at the temperature, you have your radiator and your intercooler. So your modern vehicles have an intercooler. Older vehicle, you probably just has your radiator and then has it's kind of like a radiator, but not. It just basically cools the liquid again. So it goes from your radiator into your block and then into the other intercooler, which just keeps it cool. So when the liquid goes through the block, heats up, and then goes to the intercooler, which the intercooler cools down the liquid and goes back into the radiator. Now, when you do maintenance, check all of your hoses to make sure there's no leaks, as well as your clamps. So the clamps get overlooked a lot in your maintenance, and then when they get rusty or worn, the clamps are no good, so you won't get that proper seal on your hoses. Now, let's continue. And always make sure to subscribe and add comments if you have any questions. Now, the fuel and air systems are very important to your vehicle. In your fuel system, and in your fuel system, the gas tank is where it all starts. When you put gas in your car, it goes to your tank. Then the fuel pump sends the gas to your fuel injectors, or if you have an old car, you might have a carburetor. The, these control how much fuel goes into the combustion chamber, as well as the right amount of air. The air intake manifold is the source of air, which you have your engine block, and then you have your air intake, and then on the side you have your exhaust. So depending on your car, you might have a throttle body on the air intake manifold, which the throttle body controls your throttle, and it controls how much air goes into the air intake as well. And then you have your cold air intake, which is a whole different thing. This is just the basic stuff for now. Now, I don't know how to pronounce that, so it's basically the chemicals that come from your engine when the combustion happens, when the spark plug ignites your fuel mixture. Now, make sure you follow if you want to learn about the ignition system and other systems as well. Now, basically, it's called catalytic converter, is on your exhaust system that cleans out the carbon dioxide and these other chemicals as well. So Now, exhaust system, which is basically what I was just talking about, is a series of pipes that runs from your engine block. Usually depends on the location on the type of engine you have. If you have a V engine style, it would probably be on your left side of your engine. If you have an inline, it'll probably usually it's the left side. Usually it depends on you make a car too. If it's import or American, depends. But yes, Cadillac converter, talked about that, and that is it. So thank you for watching today, and please subscribe and follow. Don't forget to let me know what you think.